Now, I'm joined in the studio by the Israeli ambassador to the UK, Tzipi Hotovely. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Hello,
Obviously, these are incredibly distressing, frightening and difficult times. And Israel, you might say, is in the firing line all over the world for what people are seeing every day, which is terrible numbers of civilian casualties. They're seeing Palestinians in Gaza killed, now in their thousands. And do you feel that it is becoming more difficult to explain why the fighting continues, or do you think it's very clear why Israel is doing what Israel's doing?
So first of all, I think this is our job as an embassy to bring the story out of October 7th. And yesterday, there was a very significant moment when the British Parliament was screening the raw footages that came out from Hamas GoPro cameras when they actually documented every single atrocity they committed, the rapes, the murderers, the beheading people, all those horrible things that people, some of them doubt that they actually happened. Parliamentarians in Westminster watched it and they were shocked.
I believe it's a 46-minute film, and what people who have seen it have told me is you will never be the same again.
Exactly.
You watch this film and you will never be the same again. You won't breathe in the same way, you won't feel the same, you won't sleep in the same way.
Exactly.
You watch that 46-minute film and the point that you've made is so clear. It was captured by Hamas members themselves on their own cameras. They were recording this for posterity.
And they needed to do that in order to glorify their terror actions. Just to tell you something that I heard from a friend that is like a Holocaust researcher. He said, in a way, they were worse than the Nazis because the Nazis were trying to hide their horrible atrocities. They were trying to create as if this is a simple working camps when they were actually persecuting extermination camps of Jews. But here we're talking about documenting and even live filming of everything on social media, on TikTok at the same day. So this is as sick-minded the terrorists of Hamas war. And when you see the faces of the parliamentarians after the screening was over, when people came and told us, this is something the world must see, must be aware of, as you said, you can't be the same person. You can't just carry on. So some people think today life continues, but no, we stopped our life at the 7th of October. We will never forget this day. For us, the clock stopped, and we must bring back, first of all, the hostages, and second of all, the security and safety Israelis enjoyed for many years, and they lost it at the 7th of October because our house been invaded, our bedrooms been invaded by those horrific terror attacks.
So when people call for a ceasefire, there was a vote on it, as you know, and SNP brought a vote on it yesterday. There's been resignations from the Labour Party, firings from the Labour Party over this.
But look, the British Parliament was against the ceasefire because in a way it was showing and reflecting a moral clarity of the fact that Israel is fighting pure evil and we shouldn't stop Israelis doing that.
When there is a call for a ceasefire, it always seems as if the call is Israel, stop. Are you surprised? Are you dismayed that the call is not return the hostages? Hamas, return the hostages, return the Israelis, return the babies,
right,
return the old people, return the Holocaust survivors, send them home, and then a ceasefire will transpire. It's the obligation on Hamas rather than Israel, and that's not the way that it's being portrayed.
You're absolutely right, Vanessa. This is the way we are seeing the case of a ceasefire. We cannot go on a ceasefire when our hostages are still in the hands of Hamas in underground tunnel city. I don't know if they've been tortured. I don't know if they've been giving a proper food, like babies that need formula in order to survive, like elderly people need medication. We are supplying humanitarian aid to Gaza. And we're doing that beyond what the international law is demanding from Israel. While the Red Cross didn't see any of the hostages, we don't even know if they're alive. And they keep on doing this terror warfare on Israel. So they keep on terrorizing everyone with those horrible videos that we don't know if the people, what's their condition, if they're okay. And some people have this, I would say, misunderstanding of the term ceasefire. Because ceasefire sounds like a good thing, right? Because if you stop firing, that everyone's safe, but this is not the case. Ceasefire is a word that has only one meaning. You help your enemy to rearm itself. You help Hamas in reorganizing its military facilities in order to hurt Israel and hurt Israelis. And as you know, Hamas spokesperson keep on saying, we will do 7th of October again.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with this type of ideology that wants to commit a genocide in the Jewish people.
What do you think the plan is, though? Because obviously just continuing and continuing and continuing with such a loss of civilian life in Gaza, that can't be a viable plan forever, God forbid. So what is the plan? How much longer, or what's it going to take, or what's going to happen? Because if Hamas refuses to return the hostages, what is the plan?
So Israel's plan, we said that in the first day of the war, is to make Gaza a better place, both for Israelis and for the people of Gaza. So when Israel started this war, there was this underground terror city that Hamas built in billions of money that the international community gave to Gaza, and they ended up to build a terror city that has only one goal: to destroy Israel and to kill innocent Jews. All those rockets, there were over 10,000 rockets being fired on our cities still till today. As we speak, there are rockets on Israeli cities, on Israeli civilians. So Hamas never stopped firing. So first of all, we need to dismantle Hamas abilities in order to make sure people will be safe. And the second goal, we are not targeting civilians, as you know. The south area of Gaza, we built few safe shelters for the people of Gaza to be safe there. And we're so happy that over 1 million people of Gaza, they actually evacuated themselves and they went to these safer places, because this is not our goal to hurt innocent people. This is Hamas' goal to hurt innocent Jews. This is not the way we operate.
Yesterday,
we actually want to dismantle Hamas' war machine, and in order to do that, we need time because of the underground city that Hamas built.
Ambassador, there are all sorts of assertions and suggestions being made about Israel, what it stands for, what it's doing, and everything else. I had a correspondent on the programme yesterday who was in Nablus, whatever it's called. Yeah, Nablus, exactly. Sorry to mispronounce it. And he said that high-up officials in the IDF had said that they wanted to commit genocide. I said, you've got that entirely wrong. It is Hamas whose central tenet of philosophy and belief is to wipe out Israel and all Jews in Israel. And Israel has no agenda of that kind whatsoever. In fact, we just reported Israeli soldiers handing incubators in at Shifa hospital, the very opposite of that. So is it true that anyone in the IDF has said anything of that kind whatsoever?
Absolutely not. I mean, we have clear declarations starting from the Chief of Staff of IDF, going through the leaders of the commanders on the field. They're saying, we are humans. Our first mission is to keep the morality of the army. We're not targeting civilians. We're actually going there with humanitarian aid, with supplies. Even the Shifa hospital, we went there with medical teams. We put our medical teams in danger and we put them in the front in order to provide whatever the people in Shifa hospital need, even though this is not a hospital. This is a headquarter of Hamas. This is approved by the White House. According to our intelligence that we shared both with the British intelligence and with the Americans, this is a headquarter. You've seen grenades, you've seen guns, you've seen rockets. Can I ask you something? Can you imagine in any UK hospital to have rockets?
No.
I mean, people that are doubting that, they need to understand the scale of cynical behavior that Hamas has, using hospitals as a place when they're actually using the patients as human shields.
Ambassador, thank you very much indeed for coming in.